African Safari Wildlife Park is a wild experience with over 800 exotic animals. Our drive-through safari features giraffes, zebras, deer, elk, alpacas, and even a white bison, all of which you can feed right from your vehicle. Walk on the wild side with a Zoo-It-All pass and feed kangaroos, porcupines, tortoises, and rabbits. Step into our aviary adventure and hand-feed budgies for a memorable experience. Check out our live educational shows or ride a camel. Create memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio Safari Park, African Safari Wildlife Park in Port Clinton.
Well, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to another morning show on Main Street TV.
Yep.
And guess what? Our good friend John Boy is here again, and we're so excited.
No.
Happy retirement.
Well,
you got to spend all of your mornings with me until then.
Well, thank you. The truth is they can't find any guests, so they bring me up here. But I was watching that intro to, the African safari deal, and the tortoise reminds me so much of me. I mean, slow. My whole family says that I'm just so slow.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong. Hey, the tortoise beat the hare.
Well, okay.
If you remember that.
Okay, well, this tortoise lost his hair, but that's okay.
I'm just going to tell you, I've watched that commercial like 50,000 times now because, we play it every morning.
Right.
And I feel like every time I watch it, there's something else that pops up. But I don't know why the ride a camel thing cracks me up every time. And you can ride a camel.
No, thank you. But I think that would be an amazing trip.
Yeah.
So that you can actually see all the different kinds of wildlife.
That's exactly right. And it's like some people get a little bit hairy about zoos and, animals in captivity and stuff. But I think that's, I think a lot of times that the animals are very protected that way. And
yeah, they are.
There's many, like I know the tigers, like they were talking about the, Bengal tigers, things like that are really out in the wild are about done. And the ironic thing is the very humans that put them into sanctuaries and things to save them are the ones that are killing them out in the wild. So we're
not the same people, but
humans as a whole. So. Well, welcome to the show, everyone, and we hope that you are having a wonderful morning.
By the way, it should be because it's National Chicken Wing Day.
Well, good luck finding some.
And if you do find some, remember, automatically makes tomorrow I need more napkins day.
Right. No, it means, honey, go buy the spray and wash day. Because my shirt's a mess.
And of course, when you order those chicken wings, they have the audacity to give you that one little bitty wipe thing.
Yeah. Like, what's that going to do?
What's that going to do? I mean, Please. It's a start, and it's also National Lipstick Day.
Oh, I have some. Would you like some?
No, thank you. Of course, a lot of people aren't going out anymore, so...
What do we do about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder, you think about that during a global pandemic, and you think about the lack, because everyone wore masks, the lack of makeup sales. That just dawned on me.
That's true. Last year, instead of celebrating National Lipstick Day because of the pandemic, it was National What's the Point Day.
Exactly. No, it's so funny. Like, we would be running around the restaurant, and, if someone would take their mask off, you'd see these servers, and they look so pretty from here up. Because nobody did makeup from here down, because what's the point?
I know, and we humans...
Your eyes look really nice today.
And we humans adapted so well, because at first it was hard, but then you're able to recognize people just from here up.
And that's the truth. And by... kind of like by voice but you and I couldn't hide our curly wild hair, so it didn't help. I could not be incognito at the grocery store because everybody sees this.
Yeah, I know. But that's okay.
It is. It is. So I think we have a special guest here ready for you. Because this is your retirement week, and when you retire, that means you'll have plenty of time to sit at home and do nothing.
Okay.
So that means you get to sit at home and do nothing with your lovely bride, Connie. So therefore, she has come up with some things. Hi, Connie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're so happy to have you here today. And John didn't know you were coming, and that's okay because you've been working diligently for when he retires at the end of this week for things that he can do at home.
I have a long, long list. We've discussed it, but he isn't really into it. He wants a month before I put him to work.
He knows that that's not going to happen, right?
Well, I would think so. He
When we
knows
first
me.
started discussing retirement, during this new thing that I've discovered with Connie, is called porch sitting. We sit on the
that's
porch
good.
and sit on the porch and swing, and we were discussing for the first time, trying to. I knew that retirement was coming, but it was when and all that kind of stuff, and wondering what I'm going to do after retire, and that's when the list started.
We've all heard of this whole honey-do list thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And so Connie knows that you're getting a little long in the tooth, if you will.
Yeah.
And therefore, she made your list very large so you would have no problem reading it.
So I could see it from afar. I know.
She's going to now wallpaper your living room with it.
Okay.
That's what, right?
That works for me.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Girl, we got it. So would you like to tell us a little bit about what's on the list?
Well, the basement comes first,
Okay.
and then the church attic. I mean, I've got a list a mile long.
Oh, well, that's obvious from what
Yeah.
you brought here.
Yeah.
What did you do to the church attic?
Nothing. It's just over like the basement. The basement has become the. You've heard of You Store It.
Yes.
It's the Pelletier family store it in our basement. I mean, there's all members of the family have stuff there. Now, the biggest contributor to occupying space in our basement is Connie Christmas, and you have.
He is blaming you.
That's okay, but at least her stuff is in order. My stuff is not. So, yeah, I'm going to have to clean the basement.
He's a hoarder. Empty
Are
boxes.
you?
We have empty boxes coming out the ear.
Empty boxes?
He takes everything to the basement.
You never know when you're going to need an empty box.
That's a good box, he says. That's a good box.
We started to recycle a ways back, and so I've been. It hurts, but I break down the box and take it to recycling, and have to stand there by the dumpster for a while in mourning. But there goes a perfectly good cardboard box.
Yep.
The things you learn
I know.
from spouses.
I know. She's hopefully not going to tell everything she knows.
It would take me a week.
I was going to say she is pressed for time this
Yes.
morning. Therefore, we will not be learning everything about you today. All right, Connie. So what else is on the list?
Those are the two main
I
things.
mean,
and-
if you unroll that thing, it's going to take up this whole room.
Right,
So.
right. He'll stay busy.
All right.
There's the fence.
Oh, yeah, the fence.
We have a fence around
The
for our
backyard.
fur babies, so they between the house and the church.
Sure.
And it's been there 20-some years.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to redo the fence. I had to. Now I'm going to get emotional here. I had to tear down my shed that I built in the back after 20-some years because it was time, and we needed more space. So we put it.
To put cardboard boxes, evidently.
Right, that's right. So, and she has pictures of the process where I built tore it down, built the foundation, and thanks to, of course, putting up these new sheds takes beforehand. So thanks to my good friend Bob Teichman, we got the new shed in place. And now I have to do the fence and redo the whole back thing, because we used to have a fountain and, you know, chairs and umbrellas, and I couldn't put that all out until I get this all finished. So so that's the reason we're porch sitting. We can't sit in the back.
Besides that, it's so much more interesting to people watch out on the front porch, right?
That's true.
People, they'll go by and they'll honk or wave, and I look at John and I'll say, "Who's that?" He'll say, "I don't know." So
Same.
from the distance, you can't tell who it is, but
Yeah.
you wave.
If
Unless you know who, and half the time they probably don't know who you are either.
Could be.
Yeah, if they're going south, of course they honk and they're gone. You can't tell unless
Yeah.
you know the car. Coming north, sometimes if they honk early enough, I can figure out who it is. But just thank you for honking.
That's
Yes, thank you for honking at us.
All right.
No, it was funny when the whole, pandemic thing, and Jamie and I would come in and just walk around town or whatever, and it was forever people honking and waving, and we'd both be like, who is that? I don't know. You just wave back.
Hey,
Right.
hey.
You just assume that there's 5 fingers and not one. If there's the one finger stuck up, you know you're in trouble.
So I'm really, it was sort of mixed emotions, and still a little bit about retiring, because that's the only thing I know how to do. Somebody's going to have to teach me how to do something
Girl,
else.
you're in trouble. You're going to have to learn him real good.
His favorite saying is, "I don't have the right tool."
So I probably, when I clean out the basement, I'll find all those tools I hid. So I didn't have to
I
do
didn't have the right one.
Anyway, and kind of had some really great conversations. Not only is she my best friend, but also my favorite golfing partner.
Oh, I'm terrible.
We went out and played, and she didn't play well, but normally she beats the socks off me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You go, girl. I knew I liked you for a reason.
I love it, but our grandson, I take him out a few times, and he says, "Mama, you have the best advice, but you don't follow it."
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yes.
So anyway,
So you guys are ready to party.
we're ready. We've got a small vacation planned, so that way, I'm staving off this honey. That's to-do
I
list.
was like, anything you can do to postpone
As soon
that.
as I leave here, then we have a week or so before we go on vacation. So I have to prepare for the vacation now. You know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Sort my socks. All those important things to do.
You have to lift some weights, get buff.
You lift weights. Yeah.
Can't do the honeydew.
Yeah. Sit very still in the sun.
Make sure the porch swing is
That's right.
sturdy.
Right. But I'm not going to get away with it. So.
No, I know your wife, and no, you're not.
I know.
Are you sure you just don't want to stay here?
No.
Actually, in truth, it was a difficult decision, but I'm really looking forward to Connie and I doing more things together. And,
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
because, Connie knows of all people, especially when I was working on the air, I would come here before the sun would come up, and I would be here after the sun went down. And so look at her. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know. I remember.
So this is my payback to her and the family too. So
Here I am. You're
You're
stuck with me now. So, Connie, what are you, as the wife of John Boy, what are you looking forward to most from his retirement, other than the honey-do list?
Just him being around to do the things that I can't do,
Makes sense.
the little things, and him being there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out, porch sitting.
she said this morning, I think I'm more excited than you are.
I
So-
did. And I do.
So good. That's the sweetest.
And, you know, I'm very, very lucky because
Don't start.
I know.
We're doing this to him all week, by the way.
Not only are we married, but we're good friends.
Yeah, for sure. And that's all the difference, isn't it?
And she always tells me what's on her mind.
No.
She never holds anything back. And I'm trying to learn. So
Oh, she is going to keep you in line,
I know.
buddy.
she always has. I mean, that's
Well, somebody has to.
that's the reason I made it this long is because of her.
No, I think that's fantastic, and I hope that you two have a blast together and many, many, many more years of porch sitting.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Miss Connie, thank you for stopping by and bringing the honeydew. Well, we're not even going to have her unroll that thing because
No.
it is so big. So whenever you go ahead and wallpaper the living room with it, take a picture, send it
Okay,
to us.
will do.
Yeah. But thank you for stopping by. Miss Connie has to get out of here because she has some places to go. Probably to buy some supplies so that you can get started working.
That's right.
Some proper tools.
Some
Yeah.
proper tools.
Here, Jerry's Do It Center. Here she comes.
Yep, look out. All right, well, Miss Connie, we will let you get out of here for the day, and thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, you know you're welcome back. And can I borrow him occasionally when I need someone and I call crying?
Sure, as soon as this list is finished.
Dang, I'm not going to have you for a while.
All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye. Miss Connie. John's other half, better half.
Oh, much better half. Much better.
That is so funny. Well, I didn't want to break it to you that she was coming with that giant thing because I didn't want to scare the tar out of you, but,
Yeah.
you know, there it is. So we have, is there someone else here? Oh my, uh-oh.
Okay.
You were in some serious trouble.
I figured today was going to be difficult. Because the less I hear from you guys, the worse. Oh my, there he is.
Hey, there he is.
All right.
Oh boy.
It's John Moore.
It is John Moore, and he's a little taller than
Yeah, you
Miss
might need
Connie.
to adjust everything for me.
Yeah, he's just a little taller than Miss Connie.
Let
So
me-
there he is.
Let me get my phone ready because I came up with my top 10 list of John Boy things we're going
Okay.
to talk about.
Yes. This is great.
But
Now-
only got to 4, so.
Yeah, John. Yeah, there were. I was going to say there can't be 15 things that anybody likes about me. You know, John and I were did a show that he graciously paid for. I didn't have to. Didn't cost me a dime.
That's amazing.
And we did it for, what was it, John? 15 years?
15 years.
We were on the
That
radio
is so
together
cool.
for 15 years. It started way back when he partnered with Barnett Ford.
Yes, Matt
And-
Barnett got me involved with that.
Right. Matt Barnett's the one
That
that got him
goofball.
started. And we basically talked for about 10, sometimes 15 minutes. We're supposed to be talking about his business, Cardo's Pizza,
Sure.
which is fabulous stuff.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
However, he would always shy away from it. He wanted to talk music. You remember that?
Yeah. Well, what happened was, I started with the show, and after about 2 weeks, we've exhausted all the topics.
There's only so many pepperonis you can talk about, right?
And then I was every other day. I do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday we'd switch. And then Barnett's went off the air,
Yeah.
and I did 5 days a week. So, I mean, we talked about the same thing in different ways for
Right.
years and years. Our viewership went to 10 to 15 people down to 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know.
Which probably when you and I got on here today, people started clicking the channels. Oh,
Yeah,
it's those
there
guys.
they are, the old farts. Boom,
Whatever,
boom, boom.
no.
But I was super intrigued with John Boy being on the road with his rock and roll band back in the day.
He would try to pry my old
All
on the
the
road
stories.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
some of those are on my top 10 list here.
Yeah, and a lot of the stories, John, I can't tell on the air, but there were some that I
Yeah,
could. And
I-
had some interesting moments.
Well, one of my favorite stories is the concerts you got to see back in the day.
Yes.
From Bob Seger in the late 60s and Jimi Hendrix and the Doors. I
Right.
loved hearing those stories.
Right.
'Cause-
And Cream.
yeah, oh, yeah, that's
Cream.
right.
Yep.
And when I was going to concerts, and of course I was very picky because I was playing music, so I wanted to see some of my favorites.
Like your inspirations, right?
Right, and I got to see others too, but one of the most exciting concerts for me, there were two, Jimi Hendrix and Cream. And Doors was probably the scariest concert I was ever at because it was almost out of control.
Oh, really?
They put a net in front of the stage to keep Jim Morrison on the stage.
What? Because he wanted to jump off the stage?
They started with they started the song. You remember this story, Johnny? They started with Backdoor Man,
Okay.
and the way that starts, and they kept playing and playing, and no Jim Morrison. And then all of a sudden, he comes running from the back of the stage, comes running as fast as he can run, jumps as high as he can jump, hits that net, and of course, it opens with a scream, and he's just screaming, and the net is going this way, and I'm like at the third row, and I'm doing this. It was amazing.
I'm about to have Jim Morrison in my lap.
Here he comes.
For the love of God, don't drop him.
But of course,
That's awesome.
as far as concert stories, I mean, he pulled a few out of me, but John holds the record. He has more concert stories than anybody I know.
But you were there back in the day. I mean,
Yeah.
seeing Hendrix.
That is true.
Stuff
Back
like
in
that.
the like when they were doing their thing, not like after the fact.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
And I was there to, unlike a lot of them, they were there to listen to music, and I was too. But I was also watching carefully, techniques and what they're doing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how the performance went.
Right, and I remember in Cream, I was noticing, watching Ginger Baker play, which is, wild to do. I was noticing there was a guy crouched behind him.
Ginger Baker, the drummer.
He's the drummer. He was crouched behind him. And I thought, what is this guy doing? So at the end of every song, this man would reach out, and right at where Ginger could get to it, there was a can of Budweiser. He would pull that one out, and he would put a cold, fresh one down after every song. That was his job. And I was thinking, boy, would I like to have that gig.
All right, so that was one of them. We got to move on here.
Okay.
So, John Boy was on the road, toured the country somewhat.
Yeah.
With his band called.
Yeah, what was the band
Well,
called?
The best band I played with was Chestnut Run.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot that part.
Okay.
But he talked about all the downtime. You'd play the show, and then you have all this downtime and milling around cities and going to the same store over and over and this and that. And he
Wait,
said,
wait.
Oh, there it is.
Here we go.
If you don't know which one John Boy is, which
Yeah.
would be very hard to do, he would be the one in the middle up
Right.
above.
If you go let's go from looking at it from left to right, you have David Leach on the drums.
Still in Jackson.
Still in Jackson.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize that's who that was.
Still a great drummer. Then myself, I'm leaning on the guitar. I still lean on anything I can.
That's just because you're bad hip.
Yeah. But also next standing up to him, to me, is Walt Cook.
My gosh, it is.
And then in the front row on the steel is Paul Bowles, and he was a great guitar player too. And then, of course, one of the best on the right was Walt's brother, Larry Cook.
Cool.
That's
And-
Chestnut Run.
Yeah,
Chestnut
Chestnut Run.
Run.
And we would have Walt would either play the piano or guitar.
Uh-huh.
And it was we were back, what they called Hollywood country. We were back playing the Eagles kind of country before the Eagles and before it was cool.
Okay.
So we were not met well in some venues. We played it was in north of Columbus. It was a large bar, but had all the seats and dance floor and yada, yada, yada. So we played that night, and at the end of the night, the guy comes up to us who owned the place. He said, "At least you guys could do is dress alike. Do you dress alike?" And we said no. So we drove back up for the Saturday show, and all our equipment was out on the loading dock.
No way.
And inside was some guys all dressed alike.
That should have made it to the list. But where I was driving at was I love that. I remember that story. We told that story many times. But you said one time you're just milling around in some city, and you're in some supermarket or something, and you look up on the wall, and there's a whole salami, and you thought, if I could buy that salami, I've made it in the rock and roll business. So if I had enough money to buy that salami,
I would have to walk.
That is so
Here's how much money I was trying also at the same time to go to college. Mm-hmm. You know, of course, we traveled heavy in the summer and not so much in during school. This is before my full-time radio career, and I remember having to make decisions on whether I was going to put gas in the car or go get a hamburger from Wendy's.
understood.
And so I would walk. So when we were down, they'd put us up in a hotel or a motel or whatever it's going to be, and you didn't have much to do during the day. Plus, I didn't have any money, and so I would walk through the stores, as you mentioned, and every once in a while, you know, I'd be met going out by security guys, want to know what I was doing. You've been in here every day, and it's just.
Killing time,
Killing
man.
time.
Don't have any money though.
but if you could just buy that salami, you would.
Did you ever buy the salami?
Yes, I did.
Or was it bologna?
It was salami.
Okay, gotcha.
It was hard salami, and I finally bought one, and thanks to radio, I was able to buy a hard salami.
And what did you do with that?
I ate it.
Oh, okay. And you're still here to tell about it, huh?
Yes.
But on that story, you're like, if I could just buy that salami, I feel like I would have made it.
I feel like we need to make a T-shirt.
All right, back to radio. My favorite radio story is the time you broadcast to no one because the transmitter wasn't even turned on, and it was a certain amount of time before you realized, wow, I've just been talking to myself in here.
Yeah. Now they have what they call, and your dad introduced this, you know, Lou Davis introduced this to the stations we came, you know, with a silence alert that would, a light or something would go on.
Yeah, we have a nice red light bulb
Right,
over there that tells us.
We didn't have that. So when the transmitter went off, and my headphones cans were plugged into the console.
Right.
And at that time, we were just hearing what we had on the console. Now we can push a button and we can hear what's going over the air.
Right.
So we know when it goes off. Didn't know. So I'm doing one of my greatest shows ever. And suddenly realized about 30 or 40 minutes later that no one was hearing me at all. And another story I need to tell is when the house on 788 there was a house, and when it burned down, we your dad pulled in
That sweet trailer.
mobile home. It was not a trailer; it was a mobile home.
Okay.
And so,
if that's what we're gonna call it.
so me signing on in the morning, I always got there about 4 o'clock, quarter till 4. And it was dead of winter, and outside was like 15 degrees below zero.
Yes.
So I'm dash from my car, stick the key in the door, you know, shut the door, turn on the lights, walking to the studio, which was the back bedroom.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was that away.
And I'm noticing my breath. And I'm thinking, I have no heat.
Oh, no.
And I had no heat. So couldn't do anything about it at all. At that time, we would manually turn on the transmitters. So I went in the transmitter room and turned on the transmitters, and then went back in, and everything was done on a high-speed cart machine. Looks like an 8-track tape, all the commercials and everything.
Yes.
And I was playing records still, and they were on the turntables. So it comes time to sign on, which we did. The Star Spangled Banner we played.
Yes.
And I hit that cart and it went, "Ugh." It was so cold it wouldn't play. So I thought, uh-oh. So I reached over and to play a record, and I hit it, and it went, "Ooh." And it was so cold it didn't play. So, true story, I just turned the microphone on, stood up, and sang the Star Spangled Banner.
Which, by the way, is number 4 on my list right here. I wrote that one down too. I love that story, but it's not over.
Okay.
There's more to that story, right?
Where they called in?
Yes.
Yeah. Called in, and the phones rang, and your dad even got a call. People said that they, you have those portable radios by your bed that are set. Is this the one you're thinking about?
The heckling you got after you sang the Star Spangled
That's
Banner.
what it was. Yeah, the phone calls were horrendous. But because of that is because, since I had not signed on, if your alarm clock radio was set to 6 a.m., it came on, and all you could hear was tss, because there was no sound. And then all of a sudden, you hear this awful voice come on, "Oh, say." Oh, anyway.
I mean, that makes that annoying beeping sound that your alarm clock makes really sound good.
Yeah.
So did people really call and
Oh
heckle
yeah,
you?
they were not pleased at that at all. They thought I was doing it on purpose, all I could say on the other end was, "Sorry."
I'm just cold, man.
And I was very cold, and of course, that went on through my entire shift. I was able.
Did you have to sing every song?
No, I finally rooted around and got a space heater and closed the doors and got the room warm enough that I could actually do some things. But yeah, for about the first hour or so, it was just me talking, reading news, talking, humming,
Now, something that we
cracking my nails.
something we passed a lot of time with toward the end of our years together was the Bob Seger concert. Because I was always so blown away that John saw Bob Seger back on his first tour at, where'd you see him at in Columbus?
The Peppermint Lounge.
Peppermint
It was a
Lounge in
club.
Columbus.
Yeah, in Columbus.
Where was that?
Almost, it was south of Columbus, almost to Circleville.
Wow.
And this was not Bob Seger, famous Bob Seger. This was Bob Seger, and I forget what he called the band.
System, Bob Seger System.
The Bob Seger System.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he was great then, and so I always talked about it.
Peppermint
And
Lounge,
thanks to
I love
my
that.
good buddy, John Moore, he, behind my back, went and got me tickets when Bob Seger came
On his final tour.
on his
in
final
Columbus.
tour.
That's so cool.
Yeah. There's
But that's
more-
not. But
yeah.
that's not the end of the story.
Yeah, so here we go. Me, John Boy, your friend of mine, Scott Ford, and his son
God.
at the time,
Yeah.
Scott.
Scotty Ford. We go to the Nationwide Arena to see Bob Seger, which
Right.
he and I talked about on the radio for
Oh, yeah.
months and months,
Months
and
and
months.
months.
It's the time to go see Bob Seger. We go early because we're going to eat up there. We walk up, and this lady said, "Hey, are you going to the concert?" Or some guy, I think it was a lady,
There's a lady.
said, "You going to the Bob Seger concert?" And we're like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking she's trying to sell tickets or something. She said, "It's canceled."
What?
I'm like, "No way."
You're like, shut your mouth.
It was canceled.
It was canceled. He had played the night before in Pittsburgh and suffered a neck injury that he'd been nursing for a while, and it got so bad he could not perform in Columbus.
So we went up there
No.
to see it, and I mean, we were there at the steps. Of course, we were on our way to, what's the name of the restaurant?
Buca?
Buca de Beppo?
Yes.
Buca de
Yes.
Beppo. So, as true, red-blooded, hardy young Americans, we just went ahead and ate.
Well,
Because we didn't believe it. We're still
we're
like,
like,
there's
we're
no way.
holding out.
Yeah.
But the
when
whole
did they
restaurant-
cancel concert? That
Right.
close to the starting time.
But it was affirmed by just about everybody else that came in
And I got an email when we were sitting there
Yeah.
from Ticketmaster.
from Ticketmaster.
So then we waited 476 days.
Not that you
Talked
were
about it on
counting
the
or
radio
anything.
all that time.
Talking about it again.
Our viewership went down from 3 to 2 at that point. One of which is my mother, who loves John Boy. And we went back, and me, you, got Scott Ford
Ford.
again, and Matt McKee.
Right.
Yes.
The four of us went to Buca's again for dinner, and saw Bob Seger.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best concerts I've ever seen in
Yeah,
my
it
entire
was
Was
life.
it worth the
It
wait?
was worth the wait.
Aw.
But
You know,
that's not the end of the
30,
story.
35 hits in a row.
Yeah,
It's
it
always
was
a
just
great
one
concert.
hit right
Yeah.
after the other.
Oh, yeah. And then the trip home.
Then, on the way home, we noticed a little bit of snow.
Oh.
And the farther south, it's not supposed to be this way, but the farther south we got, the more snow. And when we got about north of Chillicothe, everybody was pulled over, and those people were creeping, except for one driver, Scott Ford.
The more snow, the faster he goes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
His theory, and John is in the back. I'm in the front seat.
I'm in the back
John
seat with Matt McKee.
And John's in the back seat
Praying.
saying, hit your brakes, Scott. You got brakes. Use your brakes.
He's like, you don't hit your brakes when it's snowing?
No, you don't. That's
I
what
can
it is.
see this entire thing unfolding.
Luckily, we got to Jackson first, and luckily John was able to disembark from the vehicle.
I kissed South Street.
And right. And between Jackson and Wilson on the Appalachian Highway, it was even worse.
Oh no.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Scott Ford went even faster. So by the time I got home, I had forgotten all about my good time.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We
I'm
had-
just happy to be alive.
He admitted to me a few months later, he's like, hey, I realized I really needed tires on that Jeep we drove that night.
Anyway, we had a great time.
Yes.
Well, good.
Twice. And to be very honest with you, I loved it because I got to hang out with John, my friends, Scott and John, and I got to do it twice.
Yeah.
Good
That
old
was
Matt
great.
McKee.
And Matt McKee. I think Matt McKee was just along for the food. But no, he enjoyed the concert too.
Good.
And they always do this. They do this at concerts now, and they didn't do it earlier in concerts. But when the concert starts, everybody stands up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see, you have to stand up.
Sure.
The problem is, normally it would be one or two songs, and people would settle down and sit
Right.
down. At this concert, nobody sat down.
Yeah.
Again, it's 35 hits in a row.
Yeah.
we
So
Bob
how do you
Seger.
sit down for that?
It's Bob Seger.
You don't. But I mean, I would have sat down if they would have sat down because I would like to lean back and enjoy.
It's like peer pressure.
But
I can't be that guy.
you make the old man stand up for 3.5 hours. But it was great. We had a good time.
Good.
But I know I'm not here all day, though. You know, we could still talk all day. But
And
I want to thank John Boy for how much you've promoted my business
Yeah.
on the air, and True Sports, our sports ministry that
Right.
we've
Yeah.
started, and we're going to bring back here in the near future. He's a big part of promoting that, and I appreciate that, John Boy.
That's no problem, man. Keep in mind that I'm number 3 on the rewards card still, or 2.
Well, we kind of phased out to pick up rewards cards
I
to
know,
an
but
electronic version, but at one point, John Boy would show up the drive-through window, like with a deck of cards, and they were Cardo's
I
pick up
have all
rewards
these.
cards with different numbers of punches on it, and I was like, I think it was his retirement plan, which now, here we are.
Here we are. No,
Love
I had
that.
this stack of, and you'd punch it, and it was a great deal because on the end of the punch, you got 50% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what.
Really
And
good
when
deal.
I did that, I'm thinking, John Moore, I got you today. So when I went online and ordered, I ordered everything I wanted.
And I kind of felt bad because on the radio, I kind of made John Boy to be out. I kind of made him out to have a serious eating problem.
Like a glutton, yes.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Well, I mean, the truth hurts.
I had what was it this week? I ordered a.
Cauliflower pizza crust.
I'm eating cauliflower pizzas because of being diabetic. now.
Yes.
So with mushrooms and pepperoni and It's good. It's just good stuff.
Do you have more than one size, or is your cauliflower
Just
pizza-
one size now. It's a
what-
10-inch.
It's a 10
Yeah.
inch? Okay. All right. Those are, I'm telling you, those things are amazing.
They are.
When my supplier said, "Hey, you need to bring in these new cauliflower
You're
pizza
like,
crusts," I'm like, "Come on."
No.
So we went. I got one. I got a case of them. Took 2-3 weeks. I'm like, well, someone's buying them, and now I can barely keep them in stock.
Yeah.
People are crazy about them.
They're very, very good, and for anyone, as John Boy is dealing with the diabetes, gluten-free, low carb, any of those, you still get your pizza fix, and
Yes.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
Absolutely delicious, and there's no better place. Cardo's is amazing.
I mean, the crust is, it's really good. And, of course, then you get to enjoy all of the stuff on top.
Yes.
That's right.
32 years this year in business.
That's amazing.
I rented a building first back in '89 that your dad had. I think your dad built the building down on Broadway Street.
Yes. Oh, yes. The old Lou's Drive-In.
That's what it was. 90 East Broadway Street.
Oh my gosh.
I remember.
That is so funny.
I rented the building.
Yes.
And I remember calling your dad to ask him some questions about the building back in 1989.
Yep.
Because he knew the ins and the outs of how it was built and this and that.
I remember one of the funniest things because, when you guys opened Cardo's, it was just gangbusters. And I can remember you had, God help you, had all these delivery guys, and it got to be the biggest joke in town of, well, there's a Cardo's delivery car.
He had
Because
3.
they were crashed all to heck.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think you even hung like some crashed up ones in the.
There's a door hung up at the pizza shop now that's not crashed.
They were.
That's the only thing left.
What were they were like? No, I'm telling you, it got to be like hilarious because you'd be like, oh, there they go
Not
again.
if you were paying for it. It wasn't as funny.
Probably
But
not.
anyways.
It was funny for us
Yeah,
to watch, but they what were like Metros or something?
I had Metro. My original ones were Ford Festivas.
Ford Festivas.
Ford Festivas.
They were red. A little 2-door.
Yeah.
They zipped all over
Yeah.
town as fast as they could go.
We kind of have what have we done? We got away from delivery now, and so I don't do that.
I could see
like
why.
I used to. Yes,
It's more pickup.
delivery's a very expensive and risky proposition.
Well, it is.
You
It
know,
is.
like
anymore.
Arginetti's.
Yeah.
You don't deliver.
No, absolutely
You would,
not.
and trust me, you wouldn't want to start.
No, our insurance company thanks us for that
Yes.
too.
How was Arginetti's, by the way?
It's great. Thank
Yeah.
you for asking.
I
Yeah.
love Arginetti's.
Thank you. You're so sweet, and we love Cardo's.
Thank
so,
you.
In the
yes.
dining room, and of course, I remember the introduction of Frozen Awesome.
That's right, Chillville. So we
Yeah.
brought Chillville back a few weeks ago,
Did you?
Okay.
and the machines broke. In the back of my mind, we had to close the dining room for
Mm-hmm.
months and months. We were ordered to close it. In the back of my mind, I'm like, man, that can't be good for those machines just sitting there. So they sat there for like 14 months.
Oh man.
Turned them on, 2 didn't work. But 2 did work
Okay.
for about a week. And those broke down. So we're waiting on my guy to come fix it. And we
Okay.
all know who my guy is.
Yes.
Yes.
He'll
Come
be
on,
there
Scott.
and fix it. And,
I'm hungry for Frozen Awesome.
We'll get it back. We'll
Hopefully he drives safer there than he did home from the concert.
Scott Ford is probably, get a plug for him, not only is he the best, but he is the busiest
Dude.
person on the planet.
Yeah.
If you spend literally 5 minutes with Scott Ford, his phone rings 42 times.
I know.
I've never seen anything like it.
And you think your basement needs cleaned out? Just clean his van out.
Oh,
No,
I don't even know how he gets in it.
I know. Now, he's not going to admit to this, but I know his technique. When he gets a van full, he just goes out and buys another
He
one.
does. I think you're right.
Oh my.
You're right. Well, hey, we have a special surprise for you all out there today.
Okay.
And John is here to, from Cardo's, and you two were talking.
Right.
But we want to, because we appreciate him so much, we want to give away some free Columbus Zoo tickets.
All right.
So we are going to send them to Cardo's with John.
All right.
And if you come in to Cardo's today and mention that you saw John Boy's retirement party on the show,
And they
or
have-
his birthday party, or whatever it might be,
And they have to mention 52 years.
52 years.
That means the proof they're watching.
That's
Okay.
right. You have to mention you can get free Columbus Zoo tickets. And the thing is, there's no catch. Like, oh, well, that gets me in only to see the grizzly bears and then they
No.
kick me out. No.
It's a-
Like free Columbus Zoo tickets.
Yes.
Like for free. You get in for free. So John, we're going to send these with you.
All right.
And people can come in and purchase or
All right.
pick them up.
I'll be there till 2:00 today.
So John will be there till 2. Get over there. There's no catch. Just pick up some Columbus Zoo tickets.
Super.
All in celebration of John Boy's 52. Don't forget that years in broadcasting. Yes. All right. Anything else?
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh well, thank
John,
you for
thank you, my
spending
friend.
time. It's
Well,
always good to see
my
you.
fellow Presbyterian.
That's right.
I grew up Presbyterian. I'm Presbyterian deep down inside,
I
just
know
like
you
John
are.
Boy.
He's sort of a Presby Baptist now, but he's
I'm always Presbyterian deep down inside.
but that as you can see his dedication to not only his work but also his faith with the Truth Ministries.
Yes,
and
for sure.
If it wasn't for John Moore, that wouldn't have happened.
Well,
And you just be quiet. Just let me.
a lot of other people.
I know, but there's always the cornerstone. So
Yeah, but let me quick blip here for Truth Sports. My wife and I are on a nonprofit. We have a nonprofit organization with a friend of ours, and we bought a piece of property out on McCarty, and we're going to develop an outdoor athletic facility for youth sports out there.
wonderful.
Shut up.
Yep.
Yeah,
You heard it here first.
That's John.
What? And the crowd goes wild.
That's right.
so we're looking forward to getting that done here in the very near future. We'll have
We look forward to it getting done
Yeah.
in the very near future.
flag football, cheerleading, soccer, and eventually we'd like to get into t-ball. But we have big plans out on McCarty Lane.
Good for you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, here's your tickets.
All right.
I'll set them over here. And make sure you get to Cardo's Pizza today.
Thank you, John.
Pick up those. Thank you,
Love
John.
John Boy.
Love you too, buddy.
And picked up some free Columbus Zoo tickets. Take the kids, have fun.
There needs to be more giving people like John Moore on the
You're
planet.
right. Absolutely. Good-hearted people.
And he's what I call a true American hero. He does all this, and if you notice, no fanfare. He just does it.
He doesn't want the fanfare.
So
You're right.
he's a good friend, and he's a good human being, and he's a really good for our community. So
He is,
you.
absolutely. And he
has good food too.
see, and that's the thing. And I was going to say, you don't see a lot of businesses with longevity like Cardo's.
Yeah.
He opened that back in, he said 89, right? And has been kicking ever since and just killing it. And that's a true testament
Yes, it is.
to a lot of what kind of folks that they are. All right, so, well, I hate to tell you this, but there's a lot more we need to get to.
Okay.
So, we'll get to the weather in just a minute, but there are some. There's a morning show here, other than Mornings with Matt, and the morning show that you did.
Yeah. Right.
There is another morning show that happens in our building, and it is on WCJO, and that is Big D and Bubba, and
Right.
you're a big fan of that show. You love that show.
I really like Big D and Bubba. Yes, they do a wonderful job.
Okay, so we actually contacted them,
Really?
and we have a message from them that we're going to play for you.
My buds from Big D and Bubba?
Yes.
All right.
So they wanted to be part of the show today.
Okay, wonderful.
So hit it, Jenna.
Hi, John. It's the Big D and Bubba Show, live from Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm Big D.
Yeah. Obviously, just kidding. We're not giants. Like you, we love Big D and Bubba.
We do.
And like you, we don't care for us that much either.
Never have.
But
Never
what we
have.
do care for is 52 years in this ridiculous business. That is something to be proud of. And to be that resilient is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's amazing. 52 years. Holy crap.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, very soon people will describe you as not being able to hold a job.
That's right. That's right. That is how it's going to go. But congratulations on your retirement from your best friends, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Yeah, even though you don't like us, John, we still like you, and we wish you a happy retirement.
And will stalk your dreams forever.
Yeah, we will.
We're the better show.
No, okay, so that was actually an inside joke because John has always said, I love the Big D and Bubba show.
Right.
I don't know about the free beer and hot wings, so we thought that would be fun to talk about. But we actually do have a really nice message from Big D and Bubba,
Okay,
so we'll get to that.
And I really appreciate them understanding that I'm not a fan of free beer and hot wings. I'm a fan of their talent, and I listen.
Yes.
But sometimes they're a little far on the edge for me. But again, remember, I've been doing this for 52 years, which means I am an old man. So they're not programming to old men. But I appreciate them. And if we need to send them a thank you because it was good.
Isn't that cute? All right, well, let's hear from your true friends, Big D and Bubba.
Okay.
John?
Dude.
5'2"? What?
52 years?
That is crazy awesome.
Why have you waited so long to get out of this industry? Congratulations, man.
Don't go, John.
But
Please stay.
Patrick's like, no.
It's not going to be the same.
Man, hey, seriously, thank you for your service to radio and for serving, the area and people. And man, we love you. We just want to say thank you.
Enjoy some time fishing.
For sure, man.
Please tell me, fish for me since I don't have time.
Love that. They are so sweet and cute.
They're both, Big D and Bubba are on 97.7 WCJO. And,
yep.
and I do like their show. And they do a lot of, bring on a lot of guests in the country music industry. And even show business, they do that. And Free Beer and Hot Wings, that's on 98.7.
Yes.
Yeah, Pure Rock 98.7. And honestly, they do something that I wouldn't even attempt to do, and they actually do not center their show on music. They center their show on what's going on. So
yeah, they talk their way through it.
Yeah, there's music on there, but it's mainly them discussing, hey, what's going on, and so they do a wonderful job.
They do, and it takes a whole lot of stuff to make the world go round, and they just have different ways of doing their shows, and
that's right.
And that's really cool.
That is cool.
All right, well, let's head on to the weather forecast before we get to some more stuff.
More?
You have no idea, dude. But no, the weather forecast is looking a little bit better today. Not quite as warm as it has been. Boy, yesterday was that was a rough one. So for today, partly cloudy, about a 30 to 40% chance of some thunderstorms or showers today. Highs around 88 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy with thunderstorms likely. Lows around 67. And then looking on to the weekend, it's looking absolutely perfect for the end of the Benton County Fair. Mostly sunny on Friday, highs around 82, lows around 57. Then Saturday, partly cloudy with highs around 80. So just a picture-perfect weekend for the wrap-up of the Benton County Fair.
Right?
Yeah. And that weather forecast, of course, is brought to you by the Total Media Radio app, where you can download that app by heading the Apple Store or your Google Play Store, depending on what kind of phone you have. And you just download the Total Media Radio app. Then you can have access to all 4 of the stations here, plus the podcasts, plus a whole lot of other stuff.
Right.
So good stuff going on.
I have a Benton County story.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's hear it.
Okay. No one probably remembers this. Maybe a few people do, but during our day and on my shift, we would do something called Benton County on the Air. And we microwaved or shortwaved, which we called Marty back then, a signal that originated from the Methodist Church Fellowship Hall, and they had a place there. And we would talk about Benton County. Now, Jeff Wyckoff is the one who started it with us, and then also David Booth who
Okay,
was an extension agent at that time, would partake. One day, thinking I would be a smart guy, I asked him, it was the middle of the summer, I said, David, I said, you're the expert, you know, on the outdoors. When is it going to snow? What will be the first day of snow in Vinton County? And he turned around and gave a date like November 13th at 12:12 in the afternoon.
Just random date.
It was during the show, so it must have been 10 something. So I wrote that down.
Okay.
So when he came on the air that day, I said, now keep in mind, David, that this is the day you predicted it's going to snow.
Yes.
At, let's say 10:12. At 10:12, guess what?
No way.
It started to snow.
I'd be like, drop the mic, we're done, like, out. This is weird.
Oh, anyway, that's a true story, and that happened. So
that's some luck right there.
It is.
I tell you. All right, well, we are coming up on time, but we still have a lot more to do with this show today in honor of John Boy's retirement. And we have, you know, for the past several years here, our good friend Amanda was kind of the head honcho downstairs, if you will.
Amanda
Crabtree.
Amanda Crabtree.
Our good friend.
She was an amazing, and is still probably, but here she was an amazing person. And she was able to juggle. Yeah, remember I told you I can't juggle. She was able to juggle 14 or 15 different tasks all at the same time on the same day.
All with a smile on her face.
Yes. So she
did that. Yep.
And
she left us, of course, to head on out to the Jackson Banking Center, where she is doing very, very well and loving her new career out there, as she had a past career in banking and went back to banking. But Miss Amanda took some time out of her day to leave a message for you. Yes, so we're going to play that for you right now.
Hey John Boy, your old pal Amanda here. Just wanted to take a minute to wish you a very, very happy retirement and thank you for, during my time at Total Media and Jackson County Broadcasting, for being a mentor and always taking time out to explain the radio business to me and give me some insight based on your knowledge of the radio industry and all of the stories that you were able to share over the years. I really do miss those one-on-ones when we were able to sit down and chat for a little bit, and you would tell me the stories about being on the road with the band, or you know, the being in the studio and callers calling in, or the stories of you and Lou. And you have many, many stories, because after more than a century in the broadcasting business, you are an icon, and you will be missed. And thank you, and good luck.
Very good. And I feel like that's how many people feel about you, is that, you know, John's always been here for us as a reference and a mentor and to guide us along the way.
The truth of this is that they would always come to me because I did all the screw ups. I've already done it wrong.
How did we, what do we do to fix this? Because we know you've been there and done that.
Yeah, you've really messed this up before. How did you fix it? So, no, it's, and I appreciated Amanda, her leadership, but it's.
She says she wrote in and said half century. She didn't mean a century.
A century's fine.
Probably seems that way, right?
Many days it felt like a century.
No, and we do miss Amanda here, of course, but our good friend Karina is here and leading the charge, and we've had some good times and hopefully some many more to come.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so we got to see a picture of your band. From, you know, a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
What years would you say that was taken?
Oh, my. That would have been in the early 70s.
Okay. So we have a couple of more pictures that were brought to us that we wanted to show of John Boy back in the day. And we thought that you would appreciate that.
You got that one, did you?
So there's little John Boy.
Look, let me say something about, see that picture where I'm standing with my legs crossed that way and one hand this way. Later on, as our children, we took pictures of the boys, Ryan, Michael, and Bart.
Yes.
And they went to a photographer and did a pose. Guess what their pose was? Now, this was not prompted by me.
Did they look like that?
They're all standing that way, leaning on something with their legs crossed like that.
That is so cute.
Really. But that's my father. His name was Horace.
Yep.
And my mom, Vivian, and my sister, my big sister, Sandy.
Yeah.
So, and that was taken before I even remembered what's going on.
Where was it? It looks like there's big buildings in the background. So
Yeah,
I'm wondering where that was.
Yeah, I was raised in, my early life started in California. My dad was working with, now it's North American Rockwell in aviation, building airplanes, and we went out to California, but then he came back to Curtis Wright in Columbus, Ohio, which later became North American Rockwell, and we were living in Reynoldsburg.
Oh, okay. Well, there probably were some big buildings there in the background then.
Okay.
All right, next. I said you look like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman there.
I know. And if
that is, but see, this is how I remember you growing up.
I know this. If you see pictures of me live on the air in the early career, I always had on a coat and tie, and that was the way I was taught to dress.
Yes.
And even when people couldn't see me early in the morning, I had a coat and tie on. But I'm holding what's called, I remember that microphone, an old 635A microphone, and headphones. I don't know why I was wearing headphones in an interview, but we would do a lot of things out of the studio, interviews and things like that.
I can remember, taking the old, do you remember taking the old cassette tape recorder around like the...
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, so we have some others.
There he is in the suit and tie again.
There he is in the coat and tie. And we were wondering, is that Engraving Plus, or is that one of the local stores?
I was talking to Philip about that, and I really think that was on Ohio Avenue in Wellston.
The Cards and Keepsakes?
Cards and Keepsakes that the Faines family had.
Yeah.
And they were brave enough to have me come broadcast live. So someone took a picture of that, and you see on my face that I still wear those shooting glasses I always like to wear.
So cute.
Oh, no.
And then, there you are again.
That's the group called the Apollos, and
you're young there.
Yeah, and I think I only weighed 38 pounds back then in high school. That guitar was a Hagstrom guitar, and I moved to Wellston my senior year, and as you notice, all the guys are dressed alike except for me, and that's because I really hadn't been with a band that long. The guy that he left to go to the service, his name was Mark Long, and he was the original member in the Apollos. And when he went to the service, I took his place because he was older than the other guys. And to the left is Joe Click, of course, John Jones.
Yes.
In the back is drummer Larry Martin and myself. And then we did the 60s band. We tried to put that back. How that started is we tried to put the Apollos back together for our 50th class reunion. We was never, ever, ever able to find Joe Click. He vanished off the face of the earth. Yeah, the last thing we heard, he was managing a Ponderosa or some kind of restaurant, but we couldn't find him. Larry Martin, who played with us at the 50th, hasn't been playing with us since then, because when we're able to practice for the what we call the Sugar Shacks, where we were doing those benefits for Rock for Tots, he would be in North Carolina. So who was stupid, him or us?
Right, exactly.
He was in North Carolina.
How about you guys go to North Carolina and practice with him?
We should have done that. And then, of course, John Jones, who is now retired from the banking industry. And,
yep.
So Larry Martin's in North Carolina. Joe Click is doing whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
John's retired from the bank. So guess who's the stupid one? John, who was still working at the time and still working.
Here you are.
Until Friday.
Until tomorrow.
Right.
That's right.
John Jones, here I come. I'm going to retire.
You're going to be knocking on his door like, hey, do you want to play?
Right. But it was fun. We would play mostly dances for high schools and things like that. And we were loud, not very good. We were very loud. So.
Hey, that's all right. Are there any more, Jenna? Nope, that's it? Okay.
Thank goodness.
All right. Well, I think that we've gone through the gamut today.
Okay.
We do have another video of him singing, though.
We do? Okay.
What?
We have another video of you singing. Jenna wants to play it. I was going to let you out of it, but Jenna says that we have to play it.
Now, let me...
We had 3 for every single one of the parties, so we have to play them all.
Well, let me say this. So the videos were recorded for the Rocks for Todd's benefit.
Right.
The only good ones are the ones that Bart sang. Now, I told the guys in the band, I said, for me to sing live is a different story because I can hide a lot of stuff live. And I'm only like a C+ when it comes to singing. Now, when we recorded this, you'll understand that the C+ went to a C-.
Whatever.
Because you can't hide anything when you're recording. I'm serious. I mean, it's embarrassing, but...
No, you were fantastic. Jenna's doing this to you, not me. I was going to let you go.
All right.
See, look at her. She's clapping and everything.
And the last one we played, she was over there smiling, which I was figuring, man, she's thinking, how old is that song?
No, I loved it.
Yeah, see? Very good.
All right.
All right. One song from John Boy, and then we'll be back, and we'll get out of here for the day. So.
They say I'm gonna keep it anyway. I won't let them stretch their necks to see my little black egg with the little white specks. Just the other day, and now it's mine, oh mine. They won't take it away. Here comes Mary, here comes Lee. They want to see. stretch their necks to see my little black egg with the little white specks. The little black egg, the little black egg, the little black egg.
That was so good.
Okay.
So what did you do with the little black egg? You found it in a tree.
I know. Yeah, I found it in a tree just the other day.
Mm-hmm.
My, oh my.
You still have it?
No. That was the group was called Nightcrawlers, and that was a regional hit. It really didn't go national until years and years later.
Oh.
It sort of popped up here and there. But I remember that, playing that in the 60s, and when we started doing the shows, I remembered the song, and I defy anybody to find out what in the world it's about, but no one really knows what the lyrics are about, except this guy finds an egg in the tree, and he doesn't want anybody to mess with it.
We've decided during the song that you probably need to like smoke some stuff, and then the song will make perfect sense to you.
Wow, egg and little...
Okay, now I get it.
I would say that the egg probably didn't have any spots at all, but by the time he saw it, it did, you know. But it's a fun song, and I remember we played a concert, a benefit at Shoemaker Center for Rock for Tots. We did that song, and after we played our set, a guy came up to me and said he was from Lexington, Kentucky. He said he drove all the way to Lexington, Kentucky, and since he heard that song, he hadn't heard for 40 years. He said it was worth the trip.
Oh, that's so good.
Really, and that's the only compliment I've ever received.
I doubt that, but that's pretty funny.
I wish I got that on tape.
I carry it in your pocket.
That's right.
I got one. No, just kidding. Well, very good. We hope that you've enjoyed our little blast from the past and whatnot.
And I've enjoyed this, and it's humbling because I've spent all these years doing something I like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're great at.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been doing it so long, I ought to be kind of good at it anyway.
Just by default, huh?
Yeah, depends on who you're talking to, probably.
Well, we will be back here tomorrow. I broke the news to John Boy that he has to come up and do the show again tomorrow because I don't have a guest. So happy retirement. You're stuck with me for another day.
And don't forget the party.
That's right. And John's retirement party a week from today.
And the reason I want you to plug that is because I don't want to do a retirement party and nobody shows up.
I don't think that will be a problem.
Okay.
But, yeah, a week from today, Thursday, August 5th, 2 to 4 at the Stock Room 601. And if you don't know what that is, that's the former Jolly Lounge. Everybody knows what that is. And there'll be some refreshments. John Boy will be there. And we just want to send him off in a good way on his retirement.
I appreciate that.
So
Thank you.
A week from today. But... all right, so one more day you're stuck with me here on the air, and we hope that y'all have enjoyed our fun show today, and we'll be back here tomorrow.
All right.
So thank you for watching, and get some rest.
All right.
Because you're in for it tomorrow.
Oh, no. Okay.
Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.